Good afternoon, everybody. Mitch Boyle, triple double sports card video number 3, PSA submissions number 5 and 6. Sorry, I skipped numbers, what was it, 3 and 4. We'll take a look at those when they come back. This one is interesting because I have a mixture of I Love the 80s, which includes a bunch of John Stocktons. Long story on how I got all these, 35 of them. Actually, I have even more, but I'm hoping for 9s and 10s on these. And then I have a few Rodmans and a few Reggie Millers for 1988. Again, clear basketball. I also have some 86, 87 clear. Quite a different variety of cards there. So this is a pre-submission. You're going to get a look at the cards and kind of make your own judgment as to what you think I might get. And then I'll have the big reveal coming back. Oh, hopefully, I'm trying something different here. I also have a submission which is called Express, which is cards that are valued at $2,500 or less. And I'm going to mix that in with this I Love the 80s in hopes that I get everything back sooner. So, having said that, let's start with the Fleer 88 stuff. I won't show all 35 of the Stocktons, if you will. I'll just show you a mixture. But we've got a couple of Dennis Rodmans that we're hoping for either a 9 or a 10 on. You can see the centering on this one. I think it's about as good as it can get. It's a little distorted. It'll always look like the top is a tiny bit thicker than the bottom, so know that if we have something that's what I would call centered perfectly. All right, off to John Stockton, and again, this is card number 115. You get the idea. I'm going for some 10s here. I actually have about 80 of these. I'm submitting 35. 80 of what I would call 8s or higher, which the 8s aren't worth much. That one's not too good. I know that. Hoping for a 9 on that. Let's take a look at a couple more of these. That one is real good. And here's another one. And they're all about the same. All 35 of this are in the same centering. So having said that, that's the 88 Fleer outside of the Miller stuff, which we'll get to at the end. I've got about, this is a guess, I probably got about 10 of these 86, 87s. See, that one's a little bit off left to right. Actually, the top and bottom is pretty good. So that's the first of the DREXLERs. I'm doing 2 of each of what you're about to see in the 86, 87. And you can see that one is really nicely centered. And the edges, you probably can tell, are pretty straight too. Actually, I have 3 of CLYDE. The rest are all deuces. And hoping for a good one here. Maybe a little bit off left to right, but top and bottom pretty good on that. All right, next alphabetically is Joe Dumars. I'm not sure if those are. I don't think those are flexing the card. I think that's on the holder. So check this really closely, but fairly well centered on that one. I think this one's even better. A little bit off top to bottom. Like I said, the weighting's a little bit off. All right, next alphabetically, Julius Erving. And I'm going to have to do something about that because it's actually centered better than that top to bottom. Here's another one, hoping for, and you can see that the centering on that left to right, top to bottom is pretty darn good. Patrick Ewing, this card's so hard to get centered in 86, 87 Fleer. Again, Mitch Boyle, triple double sports cards. The affinity, of course, is basketball. Left to right, not so good. Top to bottom, pretty good. Here's one I think that'll do a little bit better. Alphabetically, go to Chris Mullen. That one's pretty good. Left to right, not so good. Top to bottom, quite good. Now, this one actually is centered better. So let's see what it looks like top to bottom. Again, I have this at about a 40-degree angle, so I think it's distorting the top to bottom. That actually is pretty good. This card, I think, is really hard to find centered. All right, folks. I'll be really curious what happens with this one. That looks pretty good. Yeah, super sharp edges, straight from a pack. So let's see what happens. Alphabetically, let's go. Isaiah Thomas. Yeah, not quite perfectly centered. This card does okay. If it's an 8, I think it gets about $100. The 9 at, what is it, 400 or something like that. This one's better. A lot better. Left to right, good. Top to bottom, good. Let's see what happens. I think that picture, though, of Isaiah with the pad. However, this picture is one of the best that 86, 87 did with Spud Webb. And by the way, that is a hair that is on the semi-rigid here. That is not on the card itself. Let me get that off of there right now. Here, I'll show you. Let's look at that again. Ah, look at that. That was distracting, wasn't it? But the centering's good on that Spud Webb. Okay, next. Again, I said I had 2 each of these. Another Spud Webb. Centering not quite as good, right? All right, Mitch Boyle, triple double sports card. Video number 3. This will be submissions number 5 and 6 to PSA. Boy, this one's hard to get. And by the way, another hair. My cat's sitting right next to me. I should move the camera over there so you can see that. And then I can blame her for this. There, that's a lot better. But the good news about this card, even though the centering's terrible, is that it's hard to get the centering. So even with an 8, you're going to get probably $100 for it. This one is quite a bit better. A little off left to right, top to bottom, pretty good. Staying with the alphabetical theme, we got James Worthy. Now remember, this submission for I Love the 80s is $99 or less. So most of these cards, if they get an 8, they're worth about $100. So thus not putting in Barkley and Elijah Wan and Karl Malone and then that other guy, what's his name? I can't remember. This one is really well centered. This is the James Worthy. Hoping for a good one here, although you can see a little print defect there. Half an inch to the left there where the Y is. Okay, and I mentioned to you that the end of this I Love the 80s submission is some Reggie Miller, so we're hoping for some 9s or 10s here. You can see this, the centering on that's really good. These are all from packs recently. Centering really good on that one. So again, hoping for 9s and 10s. I think a 9 will get me $100. I think a 10 will get me, I forget. But all these Reggies are pretty good, just like the Stocktons were. We had 35 of the Stocktons, and I showed you 4 or 5. All right, so the last part of this submission, which is different, of course, is where I wanted to go express and submit a couple of cards that were in the $2,500 range, and see if I could get all of the I Love the 80s to come back at the same time and not have to wait till October. I don't know how that'll work, but anyway, here's the first card, and they're both the same card. This one. This is the rookie card, 80-81 Topps Basketball, Larry Bird, Magic Johnson, and then you've got Julius Erving. This is called the Scoring Leader card. So you can check the centering, and it's pretty darn good. The key thing about this is there are no print errors on this card, and this card is full of them. And neither this one. Whoops. Let's fix that. There we go. And this is the other one. So the centering's really good on this one. It's a little bit off left to right, but no print errors at all. And the back is centered well on these ones. And they don't really look at the backs much on this. I've noticed that I've seen some 10s with really crappy centering on the back. But I'll show you this one. Just whoops. I was sticking in my little holder. There we go. So see how nice the centering is on the back? You would hope they would take that into consideration. So anyway, there it is. Submissions number 5 and 6 to PSA. We're going to hope that we can get grades back early on this. It'll be fun to do the reveal. And yeah, looking forward to then getting those grades and putting stuff online and seeing if we can make a little bit of money out of it. But looking forward to your comments. Please subscribe. I don't have a lot of views yet. Pretty soon I'll have a logo and maybe an opening video. But again, appreciate you checking it out. Mitch Boyle, triple double sports card. This is video number 3 in submissions 5 and 6. Thanks for watching.